Hello, everybody. Welcome back to You're Built for This, where I highlight entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs, specifically for this episode, who are just starting out and highlighting their journeys early on. We take a look at to where they've been, we look at what they're doing, and then we see exactly where they're looking to head with their particular business. Today's episode, we have CEO and founder of DoctorNow, Kwab, in the building. How are you doing, Kwab?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, good. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak. Doctor Now is a platform, that is used to essentially help folks connect with their medical professionals in a remote environment. And so Kwab is going to go into more detail about how he created the platform, why he created it. But before we get there, I would love to just kind of hear your backstory in regards to how you were raised, where you grew up, and that whole stuff, and how that led to what you're doing now.
Yeah, sure. Um, I was born and raised in Ghana. Um, Anytime I say this, people will say Accra. No. There is a city in Ghana called Kumasi. It is the second largest city in Ghana. Just that sometimes Accra, the capital, kind of overshadow Kumasi. So I was born and raised there. So I moved to the state about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I've actually heard of Kumasi, Ghana.
Oh,
Yeah, when
nice.
I was in college, I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, and one of my Spelman sisters, she was actually hosting a mission trip to go to Kumasi. I didn't end up going to Kumasi, Ghana, but that's where I originally found out about it. So if you had told me to guess which city you were from, I probably would have
Hmm.
guessed Kumasi and not Accra.
Oh, really?
Yes,
How?
yes, because that's when I think of Ghana, that's the first place
Mhm.
I think of. So it's cool to hear that you're from there.
You are the first person that knows about Kumasi.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Okay.
So you said you moved to the States 8 years ago, but tell me about that transition in Kumasi. Like I know you went to, of course you went to college there, you went to high school
Mhm.
there. So tell me about that transition because I saw that you went to University of Ghana and you studied accounting. So what made you want to decide to be, I guess, study accounting growing up? Like what was it? Like was it more so you were into money and finance? Or was that just something random that you chose when you went to University of Ghana?
Yeah, so it actually started when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I actually hate the sciences like biology, physics, chemistry. And then one day we did the mock exams when I was in, I think, my sophomore in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I scored the highest in the math class. So my teacher that time was like, "Oh, we actually have been struggling to give you advice for what to study in high school. I think you should study accounting. It should actually help you." I was like, "Oh, okay." That's where I actually picked accounting as my major in high school, and then I continued to go to university to do accounting.
So how was it in college? And studying accounting, was it hard for you, or just because you were so good at math that you were able to excel in accounting in college, and college was super easy for you, or did you have like a tough time in college, like everyone does? Like when I was a freshman and sophomore, I studied biology, and I it was tough for the first couple years. So how was that transition for you? Did you get it right away, or did you have to learn a lot to be able to really feel comfortable in accounting?
Well, during college, my first 2 years, actually, I dropped out of college for 1 year and went back
Mm,
to college, but we can get to it later. So, my first 2 years, it wasn't easy because that was when I actually graduated from high school and went to college. So, the first year was more like I was into friendship than
mm,
my actually education.
mm.
So, things were a little bit let me say, difficult for me to kind of pass my classes. And then I continued that with second year, right? So when we actually going to third year to choose our major in like college, so in Ghana, you actually will they will admit you as a business student.
Mhm.
And when you go to your third year and fourth year is where you actually do your major, right? So my first and second year, I took a bunch of business classes and IT classes, including accounting, which it was like extremely difficult for me. But yeah, so when I was going to my third year trying to choose my major, I dropped out of college because of some small mistake by my part. So in Ghana, if you pay your tuition, you actually have to register that you want to be a student.
Mm.
So I paid my tuition. I forgot to register to be a student. So I was in school going to classes, taking like midterms, exams, assignments, everything. And 2 weeks before the finals, I was called to the president office that although I pay my fees, I am not a student, so I can't take the finals. So I have to drop out for a year before I went back. Yeah.
Did they give you your money back?
So they actually didn't give my money back, but they used that money to credit me for the next year. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. And so, like, how was that mentally? Were you, you seem like a pretty easygoing guy. Did you just kind of
Mhm.
let it roll off your shoulders, or were you like frustrated at that moment, or you just like, okay, well, I'll just come back next year. I already know how to do the classes, and you just kind of breezed through when you took that year off.
I was frustrated. I
Mm.
was extremely frustrated. I thought my life was over. All my friends that I graduated from college are all ahead of me. My friends that I made in college, they are all ahead of me. I was like extremely frustrated. But there is something good that came out from it. So since I had pretty much time in my hand at that time, I had a girlfriend and I got her pregnant and she kept the baby. So right now I have a kid based on that incident. So it was a blessing in disguise, but yeah.
Yeah, congrats. That's amazing. And if you didn't have that year off, you probably would have met your partner or had the kid. So
Yeah.
that's cool. And so, okay, so now you come back into University of Ghana to finish off your third or fourth year
Mhm.
there. Like, what were you thinking at that point? Because now I know you eventually came to the United States, but at what point did you say, okay, after I finish University of Ghana, I want to move to the States? Or was it just more so like, you're just thinking about finishing accounting and then you weren't thinking about moving to the United States?
So my mom moved here when I was a kid.
Hmm.
So I knew that at some point in my life, I will come and join here, but I didn't know when.
Hmm.
So when I went back, did my accounting, and I was able to graduate with like a good class. So in Ghana, we have like first class, second class, third class. I was the first one, like first class. So when I was in my final year, my mom started the process to bring me to America. So
Hmm.
the process took about 6 months, and it actually hit when I was doing my thesis defense. Then I got my visa. So I moved the next day after my thesis defense, and I came to America.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. And so, was your mom based in Virginia? Because I saw that when you made the transition to United States, you went to Radford University to go to school again for another bachelor's degree. So, like, what was the thought process there? Did you intend to go to college when you came back out here, or when you came to the States, you were like, okay, well, I don't want to be in accounting anymore. I want to actually do IT now. So, what was that thought process like?
Okay, so I am a guy that loves school. I actually love education.
Mhm.
So when I came to the state, I actually tried to start for the accounting professional exams here in the US.
CPA exam?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I failed the first exams I took, taxation, and I was like, oh shoot, I don't think I am cut for accounting,
Mhm.
so I have to look for another career that I might be good at. So I don't know if you know this, but in the African community, at that time, during I think it was like 2013 to 14 age, people want their like kids to go to do sciences, like either
Mm,
nurse, pharmacy, doctor, or or that kind of stuff. So my mom and my dad actually convinced me to go and do a degree in nurse, which I know I will fail. So I went to Nova to do the placement test. I did that. I started college. I did anatomy for 2 weeks,
mm.
and oh, dude, like I couldn't do it. So I actually said, okay, I am not doing this. So I dropped out again.
Mhm. Drop that again.
Dropped out
It's okay.
again. And then a friend of mine was like, if you want to go to college, apply to Bradford. They actually have programs. So I was like, okay, I can do business. I can do any science program. What is there for me to do? And then I saw IT, computer science. I was like, huh, it looks like this is something that I might be able to do, and it's my last option. So I enrolled in Radford to do CS at first, but I actually later transitioned to do IT in
Okay.
Radford. Mhm.
And how was that? How was that compared to your experience at University of Ghana? Like, studying accounting in Ghana and then coming to Radford to study IT. Which one was harder, and how did you transition being in a new country and then trying to go to school, meet new people, and then also embark on an entirely different degree path?
Yeah, so it was difficult. I
Mhm.
can't tell you how hard it's difficult. Because in Ghana, I was used to the kind of education system that
Mhm.
we do in Ghana. So it wasn't that difficult in Ghana. But when I moved here, there are a lot of things that changed, right? So in Ghana, your final exams is like 70% of your final grade, right? In Radford, sometimes your final exams doesn't even count, or sometimes it's like 10%. So I didn't know which because I skipped the first week because I actually went to Radford late
Mhm.
during so I skipped the first week. So I didn't know, and I thought that okay, I can get any grade, and then at the final exams I would just study and pass the class. So I was doing that, and I was actually getting good grades, except this class called what was it geology.
Mhm.
So we actually had like labs, all kind of different stuff that you actually have to do. So I skipped a bunch of labs because I had to work to cater for myself and stuff. So and the lab is kind of in the evening, so I have to skip a bunch of them. So I was like, okay, I can skip some few labs, and at the final exams I would just study and pass it.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks before the final exams, my professor called me and was like, "Oh, by the way, you are failing the class." And I was like, "Oh, no big deal. I will pass the final exams."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, the final exams is a bonus exam, so you can choose to take it or you can choose not to take it." I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, so the class work from day one to up to now is actually the one that we use to grade you. So for instance, if you take the final exams and you actually did well, it's just 10% bonus." So I was like, what the heck? I'm going to fail my first class ever. So I went to him and I pleaded with him, used my innocence as an excuse. So he was like, okay, I will let you do all the labs and the exams that you made, but I will grade you instead of like from A, I will grade you from like B plus. So the highest grade that you can get in any of the exams is from B plus. I was like, I will take it.
Mhm.
So I took that and eventually had B in that class, and I was able to pass. But it was something that I didn't know that it was a thing in America. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so interesting. I've had my experience with similar situations, so I definitely understand. Like, especially from you not knowing, being from a different country, and they come and then you're just expecting one thing and they get another. So I definitely hear where you're coming from. So okay, so you finish, the IT program, but then you decide again to go to school again. You said you like school so much that I saw you went to get your master's now. So now you're getting your master's in what exactly again? And then which school did you go to when you got your master's?
So I actually didn't complete college before I started my master's. So at my final year, I saw that Virginia Tech is pioneering a new master's program called Masters of Science in Business Analytics. So I saw that, and at that time, one of my professors were pushing for us to get into data and business analytics career, right? So I saw that I was like, oh, I can apply for this. So I used my degree from Ghana to apply for it when I was in final year in Radford. So I get into tech and was like, oh, by the way, the class starts in August. So can you start? And I was like, sure. So thank God at that time I have completed most of my classes in Radford. I had like I think 6 left for a year, so I was able to combine that 2 schools. I did it at once, and I was able to graduate at the same year.
Amazing. So I have a question for you. For any listeners out there that are going to hear this, and they probably are currently in college, currently in their master's program, like how were you able to balance so many different classes, so many different types of classes like geology? Then you were, taking IT courses, and then also trying to get your master's. And you said that you love school and you love to learn. Like how are you able to do that? Like what are some tips and tricks that you offer to people in school? Is it more so just study as much as you can, or is it focus in class, take great notes? Like what advice would you give to a student that's like trying to balance things similar to how you had to go through?
So what did it for me first is time management, right? So you actually have to choose what is priority for you, right? So either your friends or your school or both, right? For me, it was both, but I tried to make time for everybody. So the trick that I use is never miss class, pay like 100% attention in class, take notes, but the key is pay 100% attention in class, and then try to get 100% in all the pop quiz and everything, and you'll be able to pass. So with me, although I had friends like that I spend time with like in the evening, in the weekends, but when I go to class, even if you are my mom and you call me, I won't pick up because that is where I learn most of my stuff from.
Yeah, and so you alluded to it, before, and you just said it again in regards to you being a social guy, even at University of Ghana, and then coming to the States. How was that transition for you as far as meeting new people when you came to the United States? Was it easy for you just because you have a great personality, or was it tough to start when you were like trying to find new friends, a new state, a new country? As far as kind of getting the ball rolling there.
It was very tough at the beginning because I don't know, maybe it is a thing here, but people usually know someone when they go to the college. I didn't know anybody. So the first friend I actually made in college, his name is Man. He is Ethiopian, and we are still friends as of right now. He is actually my best friend. So we were in Java class. I was sitting alone there trying to mind my own business. And at that time, I had a tech accent. So I was kind of scared of talking to people that wouldn't be able to hear my accent. And they'd be like, huh? That actually frustrated me a lot. So the few months or the few weeks, I decided to keep to myself. So a man saw that I have been sitting alone for like 2 or 3 classes. So he came and introduced himself to me, and then we actually became friends. And through him, I get to know a bunch of friends, and I made friends through him. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool, man. And so Now you finish, college, you finish your master's program, and I see you started working as a data analyst at some big companies. So how was that transition when you're trying to now finish school and now it's time to work in the corporate world or try to get a job? Was it hard for you to get a job? Did you have to, learn how to interview? What was that process like for you making the transition from actually being in school to actually now being in the working world?
Yeah, so in my master's program, we have something called capstone program, which we actually solve companies' real issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that actually got me a little bit experience in the corporate world. But with interview, it was a little bit challenging because, as I said at that time, I had a EU accent. So in my master's program, they actually prepare you for interview from day one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that you can start looking for interviews and jobs. So I actually went for a few interviews with like Deloitte, Microsoft, Amazon, you name it. None of them actually invite me back. So I was like a little bit frustrated and I thought I would never have a job. So during my second semester in that's like the last semester in my master's program, we actually have a career fair at Virginia Tech, and people were lined up with all the big companies, and I was like, oh, I can't be like I can't join this line because it's like really long. So I was about to leave the career fair and I saw this stand that like there's a few people, mostly immigrants, like talking to them. And I was like, oh, let me just drop my resume to these people. Maybe they will kind of call me back. So I dropped my resume and we actually have a chat. And then when I went 2 hours later, they called me for an interview. So I went there, I interviewed with them, and then the guy was like extremely impressed with me and my experience. So he called the hiring manager right there and let me interview with him. And he actually liked me. He was like, "Oh, I think we should bring him back to join the company." So I actually got a call back a month's time. And the funny thing is, when I get a call back from the HR, he was like, "Hi, hello, this is blah 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 from Freddie Mac. We are calling to give you an offer." I was like, "Yes, I accept the offer." I didn't let them to actually say we are going to give you this money, this benefit. I was like, I knew that was my opportunity, so I didn't let them even finish all the benefits. So I actually accepted the offer 3 months before I graduated from college. From college.
Amazing, amazing. And man, how did that feel like internally? Because the reason why I asked that is because you've dealt with so many internal feelings ever since like University of Ghana, as far as being frustrated at the fact that you didn't register, then coming to the United States and then almost failing that the geology class, and then having the gut feeling of like I'm not cut out for accounting, like all those different roller coaster of emotions that you had to face. So how did it finally feel like inside when you were able to like finally like have a success story from all the hard work that you put in throughout that time?
It feels good. It feels good. Like it feels like I don't know, like at that particular moment I feel like I am on top of the world because I never thought that I would be able to get a corporate American job and actually working for a big company like Freddie Mac. So I was like excited and I don't know, like it feels good and like immediately after the call, I called my mom, right? And I was like, "Hey, mom, guess what?" He was like, "What?" I was like, "I got a job," and she actually started screaming. So, her happiness with my happiness make me feel like, oh, it looks like no matter where you are from, your dream can actually be possible. You just have to push hard and get to it. So, yeah, it felt good.
That's good. That's good. And so now I want to get to Doctor Now, right? Because
Yeah.
now you're working in corporate America,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a successful career. Like being a
Mm-hmm.
data analyst is great.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you want to create Doctor Now and now be an entrepreneur? So you have this great job working at a great company, and now you want to start your own business. So what was like the thought process into wanting to create something in general, and then also create the Doctor Now platform?
Yeah. So as you can tell from my journey, I love challenges, right?
Mm,
So it is a challenge, and I actually have a dream that one day I'll own my own business, but I didn't know what I would do. So I said to myself that after 4 years working in corporate America, I should be working for one of the top respectable company in the world. So I actually achieved that,
mm,
working for my current company right now.
mhm,
And then the next one was to actually achieve my next dream, that's owning my company. So the first idea was create a consulting company and then try to bid for government project and that kind of stuff. So I went to Ghana the summer of 2019. And when I went to Ghana, I got sick,
mm,
but I had a doctor friend in Ghana. So I called him that, hey, I am seriously sick. I can't go to the hospital. I don't have anybody to take me to the hospital. And then there is like a pharmacy across the street. So like, can you like diagnose me so that I can like at least walk to the pharmacy to get some medicine? And it was like, sure. So he actually asked me a bunch of questions. Let me do this, check my temperature, check everything. I did that, and he was like, "Oh, this is just a malaria. Go and buy this medicine. It will help you." So I actually went across the street, bought the medicine, took it. About 5 to 6 hours, I was like good. So I was like, I was privileged, right, to have this friend to help me.
mhm.
What about people who are not privileged to actually have a friend to call, right? They actually have to get a car, go to the hospital, spend hours and hours and hours before they actually see a doctor, right? So maybe if your like your sickness is that serious, before you actually might die between that process, right? So I actually think about it. What if I create a platform that to help this type of people to get this quality of healthcare at affordable price, and then get all this benefit that I got from my friends. So I thought about it, came back home, called my friend in Dubai who has been my friend since high school. So I called him. I was like, "Hey, I have this idea," and he was like, "Just don't tell me. Let's do it." So I was like, "Just let me pitch to you first." So I pitched to him, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's do it." So we started Doctor Now in 2019 before COVID.
Mm.
So I actually knew that telemedicine would be a thing. So we actually started the development and everything, and then yeah, Doctor Now was born.
Wow. So you said so this is 2019, December
Hmm.
or November in
Yeah.
2019, right
Hmm.
before, like you mentioned, COVID.
Hmm.
So now COVID hits in like February or March or something
Hmm.
of that nature. At this point, like how far had you gone in creating the app or the platform? Like had you already built a prototype, or was it still in development phase when COVID-19 hit its peak?
Yeah. So our first prototype was ready in April.
Okay.
And then I gave it to my friends to test it, and they actually loved it. But most of my friends were a little bit disencouraging because they said this won't work in Ghana, blah blah blah. But I actually wasn't focused on that. But in April, ending, a tragedy actually hit my family. I lost my dad. So I actually halt everything that I'm doing in my life just to take care of that situation. So things get back to normal in my family around August. So that was when I pick up DoctorNow again. And then in um, August ending, we did our first real users testing. We actually call it alpha testing. We actually had a few controlled test users to use the app, and then they actually did give us feedback. We went back to the drawing board, fixed all the bugs and everything, and we finally officially launched in November.
And sorry to hear about your father and the passing of him. But I want you to kind of talk about, not the situation, but how important that is to take that time off. Because I feel like, when people are creating companies sometimes, and entrepreneurs, when they create things and unfortunate circumstances happen, such as losing a loved one or something of that nature, some people feel bad for taking that time off, or they feel bad for taking a break to mourn or to grieve or to really appreciate that time or appreciate that loved one that was lost. Like, did you find that was important to take those months off to really just reflect before jumping back into creating DoctorNow?
Yeah. So he was very integral part of my life. He was the one that pushed me a lot to go to college and do a lot of impossible things. Yeah. So when he passed, it was a blow to my family, especially to my brothers and to my mom. So I felt that I have to be there for them. So I actually took a whole month off from work to actually make sure that my family is together and everything will be okay. So I didn't have time for any entrepreneurship. I didn't have time for even my day job. I was trying to mourn and give him respect as he deserved. So when we actually buried him and everything, somewhere in July, and then was when I saw that my brothers were actually getting back to normalcy, and then my mom is kind of accepting the idea that he's not there. So I was like, okay, now that they are actually realizing this, I can actually kind of move on with my life. So I actually pick up from where I stopped in my career, and then in DoctorNowGH. Yeah.
Right. And are you the big brother? I'm assuming you're the oldest brother.
Yeah, I am the oldest brother. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to make sure everything is in place. So that's very commendable, and and that's amazing story to hear that you were able to persevere through that, and then also continue in pursuing your dreams after you were able to kind of take that time and to just breathe. So now we're in August or September of 2020, right? The pandemic is still going on. The pandemic is at its peak. Where do you pick up now? What was the first thing you did when you came back from that, that break and taking that time off?
Yeah, so the first thing that came up, I called my friend, and at that time, I have few friends that want to work with me for free, like doctors and other stuff. So I was like, okay, I am back. Let's get this done. We actually had this vision before the COVID hit, and COVID has proven to us that telemedicine is the future for healthcare. So let's get this vision out and make sure that people are using it and actually help as much as people as we can in Ghana because during June, July, August was when COVID was seriously in Ghana, right? People were scared to go to the hospital because they had an idea that COVID came from the hospitals, right? So they actually didn't go to the hospital, and people were kind of dying with small diseases in Ghana. So I was like, let's get this out there, help people to heal during this period, and then we can come back and fix other bugs. But as long as the main functionality is working, the test that we actually use to test clients, the video and the call are working. The rest are just cosmetics. We can patch it later. So we actually did that, sending out to friends that we know that they are hurting, and they actually started using it and testing and giving us feedback somewhere in September, October, and then November we actually went like production live.
Yeah, and so how was that process of getting hospitals to be on board? And like that's the like were you reaching out to all the local hospitals in Ghana? Did you have a team that was actually calling, or were you calling to those hospitals to get them to use the platform? And then also, were there any other competitors in your space? And the reason why I ask that because some people think that when they create companies that they don't want to create it because it's already been done. But in your case, was this something that was already existing? Because I know telecommunication is big, but what made, did you have any competitors in the space? And then how were you able to kind of overcome that fear of not wanting to jump into it because competitors were actually there?
So when I was creating it, I didn't think about if someone have done it or not. It didn't actually came to me till I got the prototype and the app was ready. Then I bring my friends in and it was like, oh, someone is doing a similar one, but yours is unique. And so they actually identified 2 or 3 people that is doing the same thing, like similar one, but not the same thing. So there was this company called Mobile Doctor that actually goes to people's house to do all the health consultation and stuff. But when COVID hit, he can't do that. And then there was this app called Visa Ghana. It started as an health information app, but they actually added consultation through text to it. So these two were the main competitors when my friends brought those to me. I was like, oh, we actually do more than that. So I actually didn't care about those folks. And Ghana market is huge. So I personally have I personally love competition because it kind of make you want to be better and kind of beat the competition. So when I saw all these apps and all these things out there, before we actually went live in November, Visa app have 1,000+ downloads on Google Play Store. And I was like, oh, we are going to beat these downloads in a month. And we actually did. But talking to doctors, so when I had the idea, I told you like I actually had a doctor friend that helped me, right? So he actually was like, I am going to be with you like since day one. So that doctor has been with us since day one, and he has been volunteering his time. So for free, and he has helped me recruit 3 more doctors, and then my other friends have helped me recruit another 3 more doctors, and then a friend in Ghana called Armstrong, he actually helped me recruit 16 more doctors. So when we actually went live, I was like, yeah, we can put like all of these doctors on here. Otherwise, we can distribute the appointment evenly for people to feel useful, right? So let's start with 4. And then when the demand, actually, we started with 2 because we didn't know what the Ghanaian market would be. So we started with 2, the demand went high. We actually add another doctor to it, 3, 4, 5. So right now we have 6 active doctors now.
Amazing. And I know you were mentioning like the competition a little bit, but what makes your platform different? Like I know you said there are some, differences in what you do. Like what's that? What are those factors that just make your platform stand out versus everyone else's?
Yeah. So first, we are not charging top dollar. As I said, we actually wanted to help the Ghanaian people, so we are charging close to free. So we are charging $1 cedi. So 1 cedi in dollars is like, I don't know, 50 cents. And then the reason why we are charging the 1 cedi is we actually want to test our payment system. Ghanaians have a different payment system. We actually use mobile. So our money is tied to our mobile phone. So we use our mobile to do a payment system. So I created a payment API to actually use the payment system to test it, right? So For me to be able to know that the payment system can stand under the pressure and everything, I have to charge something. So I charge 1 Ghana cedi. So first, price. Second, we have three mode of um, communication, right? So um, the patient have the option to choose text for their consultation, video for their consultation, or voice for their consultation, right?
Mm.
So we actually provide all these three type of services. And then if there is any follow up or lab work or scan on anything, we will send a nurse to you to actually do that. So we are providing a premium quality healthcare, right? Affordable, convenient for people of Ghana. This is what differentiates us from the rest of the competitors.
Well, that's amazing. And so the question I have for you is like right now, I know you're based in Ghana,
Mhm,
but is the plan, is the long-term plan to grow
mhm,
this outside of Ghana
mhm,
into more, countries in Africa, and then
mhm.
even transition over to like the United States or to any other continents? Like, is that the long-term goal, or is it more so you and your mission is to only help the Ghana folks in regards to this particular platform, or do you plan to scale it out?
Oh, we plan to scale it out. So the company is growing so fast that we actually have to step back a little bit to see what it is in front. So we actually got some people in Senegal, Gambia, Kenya to actually use our platform, right? Because since November, right, up to right now, we have about 8,000 plus downloads, right? So we are actually showing attraction in Ghana, and other countries are paying attention.
Wow.
But I told my team, I was like, it's good to think about internationally, but we should do one thing right in one country first before we move to other countries because DoctorNowGH is just a phase 1. We have phase 2 and phase 3, which have to be implemented first. So when all these three phases get implemented, then we can move to another country. And the country that we are might likely move to, um, I think we have the option between Nigeria and
Mm,
Kenya.
mm.
So these two countries, watch out. We actually might come to your space this year.
Amazing, amazing. So, and in this, I want to like reiterate for everyone like listening is the fact that although it's this company is over a year or
Hmm.
it seems seemingly over a year, but since you took that time off, it's really been only 5 to 6 months, and you've
Yep.
been able to grow it so fast, right?
Yes.
And so that's the reason why I wanted to do this channel is to like
Hmm.
show entrepreneurs that sometimes you don't hit the home run right away.
Hmm.
Um, Other times you do. In this instance, you just built a company at the right time where there was actually a need for it.
Hmm.
Um, so the question I have for you is, you're based in the States, right?
Hmm.
But you're building a company in an entirely different country right now. Like,
Hmm.
how are you able to do that? Is it the fact that you have such a great team that's boots on the ground in those companies in that country? Like, how are you able to build a company in an entirely different country than where the app is being developed?
Yeah. So this is where my social skills came in. I have a bunch of friends everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
so I called upon them, and good and all of them are doing this for free, just to iterate, like they are doing this, volunteering their time for free. So Armstrong, Jaden, um a friend called Doctor, like they are all like there in Ghana on the ground, helping me relay my vision in Ghana, and I keep contact, talk with them. So like basically, although I am in America, sometimes I feel like I live in Ghana because I am always on the phone, like talking to these people, trying to make sure that the word is out there for people to use it, because this is a platform that when you create this type of platform and you don't make noise, people won't get used to this type of platform. And then if you create it and you don't kind of create trust around it, right? So Ghanaians kind of take long time to trust a company, right? And trust actually build like seeing like the company logo, doing like community work, making sure that helping people, that is where people start paying attention, right? So we actually create a community outreach. We go to your community, do health screening, helping the community, and at the same time market our apps to them. We actually did college outreach, go to the college, do health screening, and then market our app to them. So gradually, people are trusting it. That is how our growth has been like crazy. Like when I launched this app in November 28th, I will never forget that day. I decided not to look at the downloads for a week, right? So after a week, I went to Play Store to see my number of downloads, and we had 500 downloads.
How did people know about it? Like, were you marketing like Facebook, Instagram? Like, how were you marketing just so people out there know, like, how you did that?
So I did Facebook ad. So I put $100 on Facebook ad for a week and see how it will feel, right? And I call another friend who is a graphic design, Harry. He did that for free. Design a flyer for me. I attach it to my Facebook ad, and that's it. That is where the company started like growing like crazy. And I was like, oh, 500 within a week. Can we take care of this? And then the call, the consultation, like the booking keeps coming. So like there is time difference, right? So most it gets to I think 25th December to 30th December. Most our consultation was coming overnight when the doctors were sleeping, right? So it gets to a point where okay, I called my friend. I was like, we are getting booking this period, right? I know you are off this period. Can you sleep within the day so that you can wake up in the night and help him with this? And it's like, sure, anything. So yeah, so it has been a great journey, but we are getting there.
Amazing. And I have like one final question, but this is going to be a two-part question.
Okay.
So the first question is the success that you've built up, right now with DoctorNow. If you were to attribute it to one thing, like in how your attitude, your hard work, whatever the case may be, what would that one thing be that you think attributed to your success now?
I would say friendship.
Mm.
I wouldn't have done this without the friends that I have built over the years. So everybody that is on the team are my friend. There is this guy called Jake. I met him in one of my companies in America when I was working, I think Guidehouse. I I told him this idea once, and he was like, "Oh, I have heard people having this type of ideas. They actually don't follow through." I was like, "Yeah, you actually haven't met me." And he was like, "Okay, once you get this idea up and running, I will come and help you secure funding." So when I built this without any funding and got this success, I called him. I was like, "Hey, Jake, guess what?" And I was like, "What?" I am ready to get funding. I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, do you remember this idea I told you about? I actually built it and I have this type of downloads, and the company is growing so much that I need advisors and stuff." And I was like, "Really?" So he actually went to Play Store, saw our downloads, went to our website, and was like, "Dude, I am ready." So right now he's actually helping us talk to VCs and get funding. So back to your question, friendship. Um, and not just friendship, loyal friendship. So as I said, everybody that is in my team are my friends, and they are doing this for free.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And so the second part to that question is, if there's one thing, again, one thing that
Mhm.
you think you need to improve on to
Mhm.
get the company to the next level, what
Mhm.
do you think that is?
I my I can hear my team saying delegate, 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 delegate. So although I have a team, right? Sometimes I kind of have the tendency of doing everything, because when I want something done, I want it done now, right? But my team kind of, they are detail oriented, right? So this is why we actually work together. So they actually want to do it right. I want to get it done right now.
Yeah.
So sometimes I was like, oh, can we do this? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, let's think about this. I was like, no, let's do it right now. So it's something that I actually have to work on it, how to kind of stay a little bit step back and let the details oriented folks in my team get things, like get plan to do things, and then follow like through them. But yeah,
Amazing. Well, you've already done the work of building the friendship, so now
yeah,
you have people to counterbalance you and
yeah,
where you're weakened. So
yeah.
that's great. So that's all the questions from me, Kwab. Do you want to like leave the people with any final remarks or any notes?
Yeah, I didn't know that creating your company is this hard. We have seen Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, the founder of Facebook out there,
All
and you
dropouts
think,
like you.
uh,
I said all dropouts like you too.
yeah, like we have seen them right now making money, but we actually didn't know their journey. It's not easy out there. So I actually respect any entrepreneur out there. Don't give up, because if you give up, all your effort will be in vain, right? And if you don't give up, you are going to reap all your sweat that you put in, because if I gave up when my dad died, Doctor Now wouldn't have been where it is right now, right? So giving up shouldn't be an option if you start a company, because um, sometimes I felt like it because I have to put all my savings in it, but you just have to see the end goal, right? Especially if the end goal is longer, you have to see the short goal, the middle goal, right? Because one thing that kept me going was like, okay, even if I don't make anything out of this and I get this out there, I am helping people, right? So let me get this out there and help people, and that actually is what kept me going. So you actually have to see the short, the long goal. If that is very long, just get a shorter goal that will actually like keeps you going.
Amazing, amazing. Well,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure meeting with you, Kwab. And as I like to end every single episode, I want to remind you, Kwab, specifically, and I want to
Mhm.
remind anybody listening to this that you have to trust the process, enjoy the process, love the process, because at the end of the day, you are built for this. You literally built for this. So I appreciate your time here, and hopefully we can connect in 3 to 6 months and see where the company has grown, maybe 1 million downloads by then. But I appreciate your time and have a great rest of the year.
Thank you very much for having me on this platform. I really appreciate it.
Yes, for sure. Thank you.